Feminist Critical Approach by John Steinbeck. What evidence is there of patriarchal constructs? The setting of this story takes place under a patriarchal society. Throughout the story, Eliza remains confined to stereotypical feminine roles such as gardening, whereas her husband does the majority of the farm work and makes the business decisions. Eliza never receives an opportunity to harness her potential, and we can attribute this to patriarchy because the author references how strong Eliza is, yet she remains stuck in a domestic role and is limited to pursuing her dreams using all her capabilities. As Steinbeck said, the chrysanthemums seem too small and easy for her energy. Eliza's character exists to represent the frustrations and unfulfillment existed by women under patriarchy. This is observed when Eliza cries at the end of the story as a moment of defeat. Society does not recognize her value, but rather conforms her to a woman's role. She recognizes her dreams cannot be fulfilled because of the limitation patriarchy puts on her. What evidence is there of gender stereotypes resulting from these constructs? These patriarchal constructs create gender stereotypes that dismiss women and exclude them from things like decision-making. For example, Eliza was excluded from giving input on business decisions. She observed Henry speaking with the men and was not told about selling the steers until after the deal was done. This stems from patriarchal constructs that place men above women and show little regard to women's opinions. Additionally, these constructs disregard women's passions and feelings and create stereotypes that they are just trivial. This is observed when the tinker pretends to show interest in Eliza's chrysanthemums, only to discard the shoots, showing he doesn't value her passion but uses her emotions to get her to pay for his service. This is a common gender trope where men will manipulate women for personal gain with little regard to how it may affect them. This stems from patriarchy valuing men over women, so men do not prioritize women's feelings or attributions to society. Patriarchy that makes women submissive results in gender stereotypes that label women as delicate and unfit for harsh conditions. Despite Eliza being strong and capable, she is seen as a woman first. Eliza inquires about the tinker's nomadic lifestyle and admires wishfully that she could live as such. He swiftly dismisses it as unsuitable for women. It must be very nice. I wish a woman could do such things. It ain't the right kind of life for a woman. How do you know? How can you tell? Steinbeck 5. How do the stereotypical expectations of women affect women and men in society? Expectations for women to confine to specific roles may hinder their chances of pursuing their passion if it falls outside of the scope of gender conformity. In regards to Eliza, she was confined to gardening chrysanthemums despite proving to be overqualified and capable of doing something greater. Pressures to follow gender expectations may cause frustrations if women are limited from pursuing their true passions. Eliza's feelings of turmoil on the story reflect that she has an internal conflict of wanting to do more, but is left disappointed because her gender roles restrict her to the opportunities available to her. Stereotypical expectations for what men and women do may create a wedge between them, leading to limited understanding and empathy. Men complicitly place women into stereotypical gender roles, which affect the way they view and treat them. Societal norms hinder genuine understanding between men and women, and stereotypical expectations deem women's interests as trivial and encourage men to disregard them. This may hurt the chance of true connection. For example, Henry fails to understand Eliza's frustrations with patriarchal roles, wedging a gap between them because he cannot empathize with her and she cannot truly open up to him. This unknowingly weakens the relationship between them because he cannot understand her. For example, when Henry compliments Eliza saying she looks strong, she questions his meaning behind that, and Steinbeck describes, "He looked bewildered. You're playing some kind of game," he said helplessly. 7. This is an act of oblivious dismissal of Eliza's feelings, adding to the distance between them. Stereotypical expectations affect the way the tinker treats Eliza as well. He fabricates a superficial connection with her and then dismisses Eliza's passion and care for her chrysanthemums when he discards them on the side of the road. What is the message about the impact of a particular social construct on the individual's gender and society? The story illustrates the impact of gender stereotypes. It restricts people to one idea of what they can do. Social constructs tell women such as Eliza that they cannot do the same things men can, and often result in frustration for women, as well as missed opportunities as a society when we ignore women's possible contributions because they aren't given opportunities. It leads to a power imbalance between genders and creates a divide between men and women's understandings of each other. In the story, Eliza is restricted to stereotypical feminine roles, despite showing great strength, capability, and longing for more. This symbolizes how societal expectations stifle women's potential, and it is important we dismantle these restrictive social structures to allow both men and women to cultivate their skills and pursue all their aspirations.